What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is your main man, Juggernaut of Multi Platinum Production Crew.
Arkatech Beatz.
Welcome to the music production and beat making live stream, man. We're here again, day 109. We've been streaming for most nights, cooking up tracks, helping people learn this MPC, help people learn how to do music production, music business. If it's your first time here, I'm part of Multi Platinum Production Group, Arkatech Beatz. Shout out to my partner, Mike Trauma D. And we are responsible for producing for your favorite rappers, favorite rapper, Big Pun, Nas, Jadakiss, The Game, Killer Mike, and so many others. So, like I said, every night we get up and we cook up tracks real time. And we answer questions while we're doing that, answer questions in regard to music production, music business, publishing, copyright, etc. So we're here to answer all those questions. Make sure that you are liking, commenting, subscribing, following, sharing the live. This all helps the algorithm and it helps for discovery and helps to support the channel in the long term. Make sure you're visiting arkatechbeatz.com to make sure that you are picking up any kits. And if people are looking for music production, the tracks are there, or tracks that are available are there. If you're looking to get any resource material on the music industry, make sure you're checking out our books, The Musician's Guide to Music Publishing, The Musician's Guide to Music Copyrights, and The Ultimate Guide to Forming Your Own Music LLC, along with a plethora of recommendations, gear lists. Make sure you join our newsletter and join over 5,000 people on our newsletter. And, we're just here trying to make sure that we're helping the culture move forward, etc. So before I get started, again, some housekeeping in the game. I have some samples that I loaded up into my MPC. Daily I do a little bit of digging. And of course, we use a sample source, Splice, to, find royalty-free samples. I'm a big advocate for royalty-free samples because it gives you flexibility and gives you more paths to ownership. If you do not have a Splice account, if you're a producer or if you're a person who's a content creator that needs music in your content and you're not using Splice, I totally recommend that you use it. Make sure you hit the links in the bio and or in the description so that you can join and make sure that you can get access to Splice, man. It's definitely necessary. So let's get into this thing real quick. Let's go. I got some samples in here. Now we sped this up. It started there, and we're gonna speed it up a little bit. So we're gonna start with that and lay that down as our base. It's an 8-bar loop, but we're going to go with the first 4 bars just to make it easier. Typically what we do is we program in blocks of 4 bars, and then we extend it on to 8 if you need to do that, right? So let's get busy with this. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, and make sure you're sharing the live, hitting the like button. Tap the screen, man, so that we can get this algorithm to work. And I got a bass sample in here. Pay attention. You ready? Let's go. Don't trigger that too fast. I'm off the draw tonight. I was tired. Actually did an all-nighter after last night's live. to play you what we did last night. It's crazy. Stick around. We're going to start with that. And we're going to build on that. Let's get some hats in here. Let's go with this. Let's go. To this. What up? Let's get this open hat in here real quick. I'm tripping. Get this right. Vito, thanks for the super chat. Richie Mays, what up? We're gonna add another hat on here, another hi-hat. Let's go. kick in here real quick. Let's go. Get that in real quick. Speed this up. Let's get in some more kicks in here real quick. More parts of this sample now. Got a vocal sample to put in here. Y'all ready? keys in here. We're gonna bring this up. Whenever you see, like, if you ever see like your wave too narrow, you just want to go into process, and we're gonna normalize that. Right? So we're gonna make that a little bit louder. Just make sure that it's not a noisy sample that you're making louder. All right, see how that's working? So let's get this in as well. We also got a string line. Gonna do the same thing. We're gonna normalize that. Aiden Ray, what up, bro? Come on, Paradigm, let's go. If you're trying to work, we're trying to work. You know what I'm saying? Work is work. If we're going to work, let's work. All right, we're going to add the string line in real quick. What just happened? Did it just delay or am I tripping? Double this up, make this into 8 bars, because I know that there is these samples have more to them. So let's do that. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. What up? John Blaze, what up? So what you're hearing is you're hearing some of the sample going 4 bars and then going 8 bars. I got to make sure everything is going 8 now. So I'm deleting the second notes at bar 5. sample. All right, that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, why does it sound like it's drifting off? Like there's space here. Okay. So now we got to get everything to the same number. So what happens is these samples need to start and end at the same place. So we're going to take this number 3060. We're going to apply it to every part of the sample. So we got to put it in manually. Let's make sure that other sample is starting at the right one. You know something? I don't like how the 8-bar sound. I don't like how it sounds. It actually sounds better on looping on the 4-bar. They don't need to go to 8. The change is weak. It's kind of drifting. So let me do this. Let me go back to the 4. I'm gonna divide it back. Messing up my groove. Paradigm, that's your gift. Nothing. I'm gonna take this string line out, and I'm gonna add my own string line into this. This string line is whack. So let's do this. Let's add my own string line into it. We're gonna go into studio strings. Joint sound of fugazi. So we ain't gonna do that. And we gotta get this thing to do what we need it to do. So let's figure out the it's in the key of B minor. So we go to pad performance mode, make sure we do the same thing. We put it in B minor. All right, we're gonna go to chromatic. And that's gonna help us keep our keys in line. He said I'm making it look, it says it's way more complicated. It's way more complicated. Well, I mean, it might look a little easy for me because, you know, I've only been doing it 30 years, you know, so I'm sorry. So it feels like, you know, it may look like I'm moving a little bit fast or whatever, but, you know, this is the time for ask questions, you know what I mean? And I'll slow it down. For those who are on the other platforms who can't see the screen, you know, you have to go to the other platforms to see my screen so you can kind of follow along. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Listen, man, we're going to get to it. Let's go. You're going to do just like that. Truth and Logic Zone, man. We're going to get in here. We setting it up. Remember what we're doing, Rick? We want to leave space. We got to leave space, man. And then also when we go too intricate with the melody, then what it does is it puts, what happens is you're trying to sell your melody idea to the artist. And then that sometimes can become difficult if you're not there to do it in person. Right? So say, for example, you're sending your beat packs out and you're trying to, everything is about trying to sell your vision for your track. So if you're doing it and you put it in a certain type of way and the artist doesn't hear that, then you're not in a position to sell why it should sound that way. I hope that makes sense. Do I enjoy sampling? I love it. I love it. Like, like the thing about sampling is that sampling puts me in a position where everything can't sound the same. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't. It's like when you're sampling, it puts you in a position to kind of challenge yourself so that everything just will not sound the same. You know what I mean? Like, now granted, you might have your go-to sounds, but sometimes even your go-to sounds might not work on every sample. You know what I mean? So that's that's the thing that I like about sampling, is that it kind of challenges me to kind of say, okay, you know what? Let's work with this tempo. Let's work with this genre. And if you're listening to all of the stuff that we've done over the last 100 days, I got, we had the Bollywood joints, we got this joint, we got guitar joint, we got Cold Woman, we got joints that's going like this, we got joints that's going like that. And that's all because of the myriad of samples that we use and the variety of samples. So because we use so many different things, it's like, it can't sound the same. It won't sound the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, granted, you might have the tempos that you like, but you can always work around that too and just don't choose those tempos. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. is, should we trail it or should we follow it? Chat, should the 808 trail the bass line or should the 808 follow the bass line? So when I say trail it, like this. Yeah, I feel like it's trailing. But we gotta ask, right? Trying to see if y'all paying attention. For the beat. JJ, thanks for your gift. Ghostface, is that you? I need a name for the beat, chat. Sound like some natural elements type stuff, right? Save the project as. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Interesting. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man, sharing the live. For those who were in here last night, we cooked up a heat rock last night. I'm gonna run with the name Natural Element. There's also a piano sample in there. Check this out. Let me add that piano one real quick. Natural Elements. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. Gonna double this up. We're gonna copy the sequence to here. We're gonna turn this into the verse. Copy the sequence again, and we're going to call this verse part 2. And we're just setting up our different parts of the record. We'll divide that in half. We're going to bring in all the instruments here for the hook. And we should be good for right now on this. Because I got to play out the other joint real quick. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. everybody that's in the live on a Thursday night. It's relatively early compared to some of the time that we be on. And then on this last one, we're going to take out everything. We're going to take out the bass line and just run with the strings. All day, what up? Right to the hook. Second part of the verse, which is 4 bars. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Shout out to everybody that's sharing the live, hit the like button. If you notice that in the second part of the sample, it sounds as if the sound like the pitch is shifting on the guitar, and that's what's throwing it off. And I'm like, at first I'm like, man, I got 8 bars. I'm like, wait a second, it don't really sound good. So sometimes less is more, man. You know, you don't, just because you got it, I mean you got to use it. Hold on a second here. Yeah, it's definitely detuned. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. People that was in the live last night, man. Y'all know that we was in here and we was cooking up. And we had done this beat that we call Lost for Words, right? So I told y'all I pulled an all-nighter, man. I pulled an all-nighter. Y'all know what time I got out of the live last night. And you know what happens when I had to pull an all-nighter? When I pull an all-nighter, then I got something that I'm cooking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying something out. Of course, I gotta always let y'all hear it. Y'all are getting the preview of what I'm working on. In between what I'm working on, and I didn't go to sleep, boy.
Arkatech Beatz.
How you look at me, the way you touch my skin, it gives me butterflies. I can't help but grin. The night feels amazing when you hold me near. My love for you becomes clear. I feel so high.
All right, now be safe, bro. Listen, I was, boy. It was a tough one. I ain't gonna hold you, because it was like I couldn't seem to get, I was trying to get these words and the melody, and trying to get it to, like, you know what I'm saying, feel good. You know what I'm saying? The main thing is to try to get it to feel good, and trying to work through, just kind of engineering the sound, the voice, the cadence, the melody, and getting, I think the most difficult part in dealing with the whole Cody situation, for the folks who know, is being able to understand, how the songwriting stanza will translate vocally. Because sometimes it doesn't translate the way you might want it to translate vocally, and then you might have to go back in, and you may have to now train what you got to train it vocally to say, okay, I want it to go, I get so high. Like, you got to have to literally sing the note to kind of get it where you want it to go. So it's one of those things that you got to try to get it to do what it do. But it's like, whoa, you know, you're just trying to get it to go where you need it to go. I don't know about being on another planet, man. We just trying to, you know, do something dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want something dope, man. We want to bring back some nice music. We want music to feel good. We want to insert a little bit of love in the music back again. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not so dang, like, Pound Town, something Brown, like you're not really trying to, we want to kind of, like, let's bring them together again. You know what I mean? Yeah, you definitely want to do digital, bro. Like, with the digital stuff, I could do pretty much whatever. So it's like, we just trying to, like, what I'm thinking now is we got enough records for an EP. So we just got to figure out how we want to roll it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to figure out, I want to figure out how we want to roll it out and how we can make the most impact. But, the joke was, let me tell y'all the joke. I know y'all guys been following it. Y'all on TikTok, so I know y'all probably seen, like, those Creed and Snowfall edits. I know y'all seen that, right? So, you can't listen to R&B right now. It's too vulgar. Like, you can't even play it for your kids, man. Like, I literally have to be in the car listening to like Thriller and Off the Wall type stuff. Like, you can't even listen to today's music, man. You're too racy. And I got a daughter, man. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's 10. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I can't really play them type of games in terms of like what she's listening to. And that's how they get the girls first. Yeah, you gotta protect your daughters, man. Yeah, all day with the kids, man. Like, for real, for real. But I just thought, like, and I was thinking about it last night when we was in the live, and I'm like, and I was trying to program that bass line, and I know y'all saw me struggling with it, because I was struggling with it last night. I'm like, yo, what, how we going to do this bass line? And then it just clicked, and I just like, it was like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And now it's like the driving part of the record, which is to me sometimes insane. That's why I call it this divine timing, because it was like I wasn't even thinking about programming it that way, and then it just came to me that way. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live, man. We just doing different joints. It's different joints, man. It's like, Yo, sometimes it's like that, Kaz. Like, you just be sitting here with it, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a few times I would sit at the keyboard and I'd be like, man, I'm like, yo, big God, yo, man, just guide my hand real quick, see if something will come out. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll be like, sometimes you be listening, you listening, you be like, yo, it's not, you want to do something fresh, and like sometimes it doesn't always come out the way you might like it to come out. But in yesterday's case, it definitely worked itself out. It take time. And I think what I like the most about it too, different devils for different levels, man. We're not trying to give no praise to no devil, bro. Nah, I'm playing. I love about samples sometimes, right? Because you see some people talking about John B, Donnell Jones, and it's like, that's the thing about samples, is that it reminds you of the things that you used to love, but it's not quite that, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of puts you in that place, and it makes it easier to be accepted. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's an easy win. That's what people don't realize when you see guys that remake records. It's like, that's an easier way to sell your music, because you're selling really the nostalgia. Some people can't move forward. They love nostalgia. So if something reminds them of, oh, it reminds me of Prince. Oh, it reminds me of D'Angelo. Oh, it reminds me of, and then you remember how you felt when you were in high school and you listened to those songs. So then it makes it easier for you to, like if you're pitching, it makes it easier for you to pitch your records. I'm like, yo, remember when you had that record and you listened to that, you was in the skating ring and you listened to that. So if you're in person, you're able to sell your music easier, because you're really just selling the feeling, the nostalgia. So does every sample need to be cleared? No, I'm using Splice. I don't got to clear nothing. That's what I'm telling y'all. Use the Splice, man. Links in the bios, man. Leave the Splice, man. Get that Splice account. Stop playing. You ain't got to clear nothing, bro. Just download your license. You ain't got to clear nothing. They're all royalty free, bro. Like, listen, that is a godsend. You hear me? Like, it is a godsend. When I listen, when I'm telling you, it is the most. I wish I could have had something like this 20 years ago. Yeah, I wish I could have got it. Like, listen, if you think about it, right? And this is another thing too. This is what people don't realize. People say to me like, "Hey, Jug, how do I get my music to sound samples?" Right? Think about it. You take a sample, you got a sample already. Samples are already mixed, mastered, and everything, right? Okay, boom. So basically, the core of your music is already mixed and mastered, right? So now we have to do is just add on other mastered sounds to it. That's the quickest way to get your music to commercial viability. With packs, with the internal sounds. And you want to mix this keyboard with this bass sound and that, like that's the process that takes longer to learn, because now you have to understand signal processing, you have to understand like tune, you have to understand all of those things, panning of instruments, what instruments mix with what instruments, and that's when it gets difficult when we're talking about production and that kind of situation. So that takes longer to learn. You know what I mean? So not knocking it, but that's what takes longer to learn. That's what takes more hands. That's what takes a mix engineer at this one, because now you got to get it mixed. You got to do this. You got to do that, because now we got to marry all of those sounds together. You might have a Korg here, a Roland over here. You might have this. You might have massive over here, battery over there, Nexus over here. You're trying to get all those things to work together. It would take forever. It takes forever, and the only reason why I know is because I used to do it. I used to have them big, in my personal studio in my crib, but used to have them big Soundcraft Ghost boards. You know what I'm saying? When we were analog, and we used to be happy when we had an analog board that can do mute groups for us. That mute automation. We used to have to run the SMPTE code. Richie, remember that, running the SMPTE code on a track, and it triggered everything with MIDI time code and all of that. Like all of them days, you know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with all of that type of stuff, man, that make it hard, man. And you gotta recall music and read back and listen to it again, and every time you turn on your sound modules, it never sound the same. Joshua, what up? Yo, Rob, where you been, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, Rob. What's going on with you, man? Rob Mully, shout out. So when we listen to Homegirl, right? And you know, I'm listening to this thing because remember what's happening is that when you going into the other thing is it outputs an entire song. It outputs, you know, music and everything. So you have to kind of lift what you can lift and bring it into your own music.
Arkatech Beatz.
How you look at me, the way you touch my skin, it gives me butterflies. I can't help but grin. The night feels amazing when you hold me near. My love for you becomes clear. I feel so high.
Vito, what up, bro? Listen, we gotta keep trying to push this envelope, man. Make this thing go. Yo, Rich, man, I was thinking that to myself earlier today. I was you know, I have the pleasure of working on a movie with if you remember the group 702, the lead singer Mila, and you know she has, you know, we're working on some, you know, trying to work on some music because she's in the movie with my man Sean Anthony Baker. Shout out to him. That movie's gonna be out soon, so you know I can't really give too much more information, but you know, anyhow, long story short, it's like, you know, you have a bunch of singers from that era that have that voice cadence. Maya, Mila from 702, and this is a bunch of other ones. And if you think about it, like they tried to sneak in like Christina Aguilera. You know what I'm saying? Like if you remember those days where they was putting those girls with that certain voice cadence, which is now like the Ariana Grande voice now, right? So it's like it's like it's like if you have the access, and this is really the main thing, if you have the songs and you have the access, you know, these are easily, like, you know, pop radio joints, man. That'll just go, and you know it'll basically put your kids through college. like you know what I'm saying? Like those records put your kids through college. So you know it's one of those things, man. Like if you hit one of those, that's a little different. You know, rap stuff is cool, but you hit one of those, man, different. But shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. You know we cooked up a heat rock yesterday. You know, we getting to it early tonight because I didn't sleep yesterday. so I'm really on fumes right now. I'm pushing for first 48. So I'm like, man, you know, only thing keeping me up right now is the caffeine, man, and that ain't really good at this age. So, you know what I mean? So for the most part, tomorrow's gonna be a Friday night. Tomorrow we're gonna go back grimy. You know, shout out to my man Vito. You know, he from Jersey. He like the grimy music. You know what I'm saying? We're going back to the gutter tomorrow. Gonna find something real live, real dirty tomorrow. Play something crazy. But in between time, I had to do a joint over. What up, though? Shout out to everybody, man. He says submit a sample. If it's from Splice, maybe. If it ain't from Splice, we ain't doing those. Remember, we're multi-streaming, so we're streaming on all platforms, and you have to realize when we're streaming on all platforms, especially like when you're dealing with like Facebook, etc. Even when I'm using the royalty-free stuff, you still get we still get the content copyright ID stuff. So, you know, with the Facebook, typically after every live, I gotta submit the licenses. Like, yo, it's royalty-free music, and then of course all of the claims are released. But when you take in other people's music, you take the risk of getting your channel flagged. So, you know, we're trying to make it do what it got to do. There's a record here called Big Steppers. I don't remember how that sound. DMV in the building. We got the 25,000 likes real fast, man. We find out y'all playing with the buttons tonight. He said, what machine did we use? We used Machine on that. For Start a War with Sci-Hi, ever use that with Adele? It definitely is. That's Machine. And if you notice with that vocal sample is kind of, a little trippy. And that's because we used Machine. At the time, I think when we had used Machine didn't have any time stretch. Forgot about this.
Arkatech Beatz.
I forgot all about this. Wait a minute. like that. So it looks like we exported it. Let me make sure. It looks like we already did it, so I want to make sure that it's in here. These beat packs going crazy right now. Oh, I didn't export it.
Arkatech Beatz.
Got Blue Magic, right?
Arkatech Beatz.
I think my Blue Magic still got like a claim on it, man. I'm still waiting for them to release it. Sometime they automate it, so they be waiting to get it done. So if I play Blue Magic, gonna flag the whole video. Gotta learn the music business, man. For those who was in here the other night, I was talking about like making sure that you're putting in time constraints for payment, time constraints for counter signature, making sure that your attorneys are putting those into your agreements, making sure that you're telling them, listen, you know, after I sign off, you guys got, 10 business days to get me back an executed agreement along with my payments and stuff like that. If that doesn't happen, then everything is off. Or it doubles. There has to be some sort of penalty or some sort of reactive situation to make sure that people are acting appropriately when they're doing these deals. So it's just something that I think people need to pay more attention to. You know what I mean? Typically, if you have people that have good integrity, you don't have to worry about that. And I've never encountered that in my 25 years here. But I'm encountering it now at a level that I didn't really like. It's not intolerable, but it's definitely annoying. So it's just something that, every time me and Mike go through a situation, or we go through a deal, or we do something where we do a partnership, or we do an ambassadorship, something like that, we always take everything and we kind of look at everything and we say, okay, how could we have done this better? And I think that's what's missing, Even if I'm talking about with my homie Sean Anthony Baker, it's like even after he do a project, me and him will sit down and we'll be like, yo, what could we have done better? We'll watch the film. We're like, yo, what could we have done better here? What could we have done here? What could we have done there? And it's about constantly trying to really improve and get better. It's, you really have to understand what your key performance indicators are. You have to understand, what the data is looking like. And we have to start to pay attention to these things on a different type of level. I was talking to another guy. Shout out to my homie, American Cream Team. Shout out to them. And I was explaining to him like, yo, it's he has a story to tell. A lot of people don't realize. Shout out to my man, B Twizzy. He was part of the American Cream Team. So if you guys don't remember American Cream Team was Raekwon's faction, right? He had Lord Superb. At one point, it was Shaheem. Shaheem was part of that in the beginning, but he wound up leaving out of it. Then you had Harlem Hoods, and then you had Ron Brecker. So, and then also Killer Sin. Killer Sin was supposed to be part of that as well from Killer Army. So what started to transpire was once we did the movie Black and White, and that's the ongoing joke, because if you guys go back and you watch the movie Black and White, because the Cream Team is in that movie, but in that movie is Brooke Shields, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., Frodo Baggins, Elijah Wood, you know what I'm saying? Marlon Maples, Mike Tyson, this is a big movie. Allen Houston from the Knicks. This is a big movie. And I remember being on set, and I remember, being in editing and doing the music for this thing, and we're going around and we're getting these songs together. But to make a long story short, after that period, they doing that movie and they were getting ready to put the project out. They had a single with Funk Master Flex with Inspector Deck and Method Man, and one of the members had gotten killed in Harlem. Rest in peace to Chip Bank. And I used to take Chip Bank home from the studio. Sometime we'd be in the studio. I'd be like, yo, hop on the ride with me. I'd drop him off in Harlem, and he would just be talking about that condition of because they were getting good looks, right? But the street was calling. He was in an environment, but he was also ascending. So he could rap. He was ascending, but the streets, and then he wound up getting killed behind some sort of weird dice game or something strange like that. I'm not sure if that's really so he wound up getting murdered out there. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of derailed everything. But anyhow, the surviving members now are doing some things, and they have a following, And we were just really talking about reinvigorating some of that and telling the story of, Harlem, what happened, the Scream Team stuff and all this stuff. And we were just talking about making sure that we're curating the content the right type of way, because the music that he got is dope. He got records from like Pete Rock and this, he got dope music. So it's just a matter of being able to tell your story. And that's a lot of the times that I think gets lost in today's content, is people are not really willing to tell their story. They want to kind of come out and want it to just be like, hey man, I'm a superstar, and like people ain't buying that anymore. People want authenticity. People want to understand how'd you get here. People want to understand the behind the scenes, and you have to be relentless about promoting yourself. Yeah, it's a lot, man. Like you have to see this stuff. Like if you for some of that stuff is surreal for me. Like, if you think about it, it's like there were times that I would be in editing and we would be editing the movie and we'd be adding our music in. And there was one or two times where Brett Ratner would walk in and he would be looking at the movie and he'd be like, okay, and I'm just like, this is Brett Ratner, like this Rush Hour, you know what I'm saying? like you'd be in the room with people and you'd be like, you'd be in the room with people, and then when they was doing that, if you remember that at the end of that movie, they have like a clip of them doing a music video at the end of that movie, because the movie was supposed to be talking about street guys who made it in the music business. But while we were filming that, we was up there with like Marla Maples. That's Trump ex-wife. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird, man. Like if you've been around this thing, you see all types of stuff. You say to yourself, man, what's really, really good, in this business. And you have to hold your head in this business, man. This business will take you to highs and it will take you into the depths of hell, if you're not careful and if you don't surround yourself with enough positive people. And I say this, and I'm going to say this very strong. If you don't surround yourself with enough level-headed people to tell you, nah, homie, don't do that. Nah, homie, that's not for you to do that. This thing will drain you dry, man. And then you find yourself dealing with the things that like you got your Diddy's dealing with, and other people dealing with. They're dealing with these things because the industry got them. You know what I'm saying? Did I ever get imposter syndrome? Yeah. Listen, I think a lot of our, if I'm being transparent with that, Rick, I'm gonna be transparent with this. I think people may have to wind up clipping me, on this, but the reason why we're not like the household name that we should be is because of imposter syndrome. And it's imposter syndrome. It was me not wanting to be part of the music industry and me wanting to just live normally, because I didn't really like what it was turning me into. So I didn't like that, and I didn't know how to really deal with that pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know how to deal with that pressure at that time. So when you're young, and I'm young, I'm 20 something years old, and I'm here with Nas. I'm here with Nas. Like, what I'm saying, this This is a hero to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm here with Nas. I'm here with Prodigy. You know, I was listening to this stuff in my headphones going to college. You know what I'm saying? So these things became surreal, you know. And, you know, me sitting every day with Raekwon, you have to realize, like, when I'm with Raekwon for months. Like, I'm with Raekwon for months. I'm seeing Raekwon every single day for months. You know what I'm saying? We breaking bread, we eating, you know, we making music, and we made so much music with Ray. So it's like, you know, this is the purple tape. Like, you don't really realize it until you realize it. Like, this is the guy with the purple tape. Like, this is the guy with the purple tape. Like, it's a lot of pressure. You know, it's a lot of pressure. You know, it's a lot of pressure. So a lot of it now, you know, you kind of you shrink yourself, and I find myself kind of shrinking myself a lot. I shrink myself a lot because, yeah, I'm from the Bronx. You know, yes, I'm from the Bronx. Yes, we from the hood. Yes, we from the situation. But I was never a dummy. You know what I'm saying? It's like that environment really forced us to learn how to box and all of that stuff. And, you know, I did scholastic wrestling and I boxed and I did all this type of stuff. And I was able to, you know, manage myself in the street and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was never a dummy. So, you know, you would go places and you would shrink yourself because you don't want to appear too smart. And, you know, that's that imposter syndrome. You don't want to appear too smart. You don't want to appear too articulate. You don't want to appear like, you know, and you don't want to embrace, you don't want to embrace what I would call people's genius. Because I think everybody has a genius. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a level of genius that they can ascend to. You know, it just takes time for you to kind of hone in to figure out what your genius is. You know what I'm saying? It's at different levels for different folks. And it's just like, you can run away from it. So, yeah, for a long time, you know, imposter syndrome, I was just trying to blend in. I ain't gonna hold you. I was just trying to blend in for a long time. I was in the private sector for a long time. I ain't gonna hold you. You know, I was getting all my money. My publishing was coming in. And I was just in the private sector acting like I was a regular Joe. And people didn't know. So really what I try to tell folks now is, yo, you just gotta embrace who you are. You gotta embrace that. You know, especially when you take this step of being on the internet, you have to start to be confident in who you are. You gotta be confident in who you are. And then when you have to be confident in who you are. You have to be confident in what you're trying to accomplish and confident in what you're trying to do. Because the internet is a different kind of place. Excuse me. And then you have to also realize that the internet is not for everything. The internet is a place that you don't. It doesn't need to make you into something that you're not, and at the same time, you can't let the internet like dictate your life. Because the things that some people will say in those comments, they wouldn't dare to say to you in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't dare to say it to you. They would look at you and they'd be like, nah, you too big for that. We ain't trying to do that. Yeah, so I tell everybody, like, you know, yeah, the internet is a monster. You know, remember, when it comes to the internet, you control it, man. You control what you see. You control it. If you post something and you see that, you know, people are talking, you know, in a way that you don't like, you have the ability to block. You have the ability to ignore. You have the ability to log off. And don't let it get to you before you do that. Yeah, we gotta get to a place where we're confident in this, man. And I want everybody that's rocking with us on this. And this is a new journey, man. You know, this is a new journey. You gotta look out for that Splice content that's gonna be coming out. We doing the Splice content together. So, you know, we're gonna be doing that. You know, there's a bunch of other things happening. You know, I just tell everybody, just on this journey, make sure we showing up every day. Make sure we try to do this music. Make sure we posting what we doing, and, you know, we'll fill in the rest of the blanks, because there's a lot of blanks. There's a lot of moving parts to it. But I'm here for it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. I'm gonna share some of the sauce. And I had to tell a guy the other day. I'm like, he was like, "Yo, you're real technical." And I'm like, "Yeah." They call me a technical goon, man. Like it's like it's just a blessing to be able to understand AI. And I was talking to some cats about like AI and prompting in Mid Journey, and I was talking about that, and I was talking about some other stuff, and it was just like, you can't be afraid of this stuff, man. Can't be afraid of this stuff. This is the freaking future, man. You gotta treat that stuff like it's Bitcoin. When you first heard it, you're like, what is that? Like, that don't mean nothing. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. We did that already. Don't do it again. You know what I mean? So, shout out to everybody that's in the live. Before I get out of here, of course, I got to play my girl Cody again. I got to play my girl Cody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all guys, man, that's following, man. I appreciate y'all, man. We about to get it. Just watch. Make sure y'all go check out Sean Anthony Baker's joint, man. Open Door, man. 3 million views on TikTok, man. There are 3 million views on that joint, man. That's it. Shout out Rob Mully. All right, let's get out of here, man. This song is called Love High, man. What up with the grimiest beats you got? Yeah, shout out to Buck Wild, man. Yo, let me tell y'all something. When Buck Wild came out with that drum with OC, man, you lacked the minerals and vitamins. Ice in the nice. I thought Buck Wild was probably like, with a beat like that. That don't make me shake my head, man. Shout out to Buck Wild, man. Shout out to Arsonist. All these guys from my hood, man.
Arkatech Beatz.
How you look at me, the way you touch my skin, it gives me butterflies. I can't help but grin. The night feels amazing when you hold me near. My love for you becomes clear. I feel so high when you hold me tight. I feel so high and I can't calm down. I feel so high when you kiss my lips. I feel so high. I'm on a love high. The way you kiss my lips, the way you hold me tight. I've never felt this before. It gets me high like I'm lost in the sky. The night feels amazing.
My man said OC. What did I just do? I mean, I hope. Let's see. Shout out Kellogg. I see you.
Arkatech Beatz.
How you look at me, the way you touch my skin, it gives me butterflies. I can't help but grin. The night feels amazing when you hold me near. My love for you becomes clear. I feel so high when you hold me tight. I feel so high and I can't come down. I feel so high when you kiss my lips. I feel so high. I'm on a love high. The way you kiss my lips, the way you hold me tight. I've never felt this before. It gets me high like I'm lost in the sky. The night feels amazing when you hold me near. My love for you becomes clear. I feel so high when you hold me tight. I feel so high and I can't come down. I feel so high when you kiss your lips. I feel so high. I'm on a love high.
Shout out to everybody, man.